All right, welcome back, everybody. For parents with teens, mental health is a major concern.
Yeah, but it also looks like many of us are ignoring a major culprit behind the crisis.
Dr. Laura Saunders from the Institute of Living is here to tell us what it is. Happy Wednesday, Dr. Laura. It's good to see you.
Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday. And in case you were wondering, I always liked the iron.
Oh, the iron.
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
All right, all right.
I'm impressed by
Always
that.
stayed in place.
Yes.
So it wasn't rolling around the board. It always stayed in place. Very stable.
Very stable.
Very stable. That would be appropriate for a psychologist. There you go. All right, so this actually...
You weren't mentioning the iron, the flat iron, so I had to remind you because that was always my favorite.
That's awesome.
No,
we love
I appreciate that. So I actually think as I was prepping and hearing what you were going to say, I'm like, oh, this is good. It's actually something we can fix because we're talking so much about this mental health crisis and wondering what is going on with teens. And at least one thing you're saying is sleep.
Yes. So when we talk about the mental health crisis with teens, there's two things that are the easiest to fix, right? One is decent nutrition, which teens and decent nutrition don't always work in the same sentence. The other is sleep. We talked about this 2 weeks ago a few weeks ago when we talked about social media. One of the big deficits that social media causes is less sleep. So what we know is 70% of young children get healthy sleep. Okay.
Oh, that's pretty good.
65% of adults get adequate sleep. Unfortunately, I think I'm in that 35%, but that's for another time. The average high schooler sleeps 6.5 hours a night, and they need 9.
Wow, that's tough.
Yeah.
No group has ever slept so little as the modern adolescent. They're living in a state of chronic sleep debt, and 1 in 5, so 20% of teens get less than 5 hours a night.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's terrible because that's any doctor will say the sleep is like the drug of choice, right? We start there.
Yes, right. So you know, when we're dealing with any kind of a mental health issue, and we're not even talking like severe depression or severe anxiety, we're talking about like just some of the day-to-day issues and stressors. Your ability to function, your ability to think clearly is completely affected by your sleep. We know that as adults, right? When we know we don't get a good night's sleep, it's like, uh-oh, you know, I know I got a lot going on today and I didn't sleep well. It's going to be harder for me to process information. It's going to be harder for me to solve problems. So, you know, figuring out ways to get our teens who are in chronic sleep debt is really important. Sleep loss and sleep difficulties is a symptom of almost every major psychiatric diagnosis.
So what are we supposed to do? Say 9 o'clock bedtime. Like do the kids?
That won't work for a teenager. Well, especially sometimes they just have so much homework, and then they have sports, and then they're getting up in the morning.
So what do? You do cut back? What do you do?
Right. So, I mean, when I say low-hanging fruit, so we're going to go after the smaller things. While I would love it if school districts change the start time of school, gave them another 30 to 45 minutes, even an hour in the morning. But that's not something that we can do on an individual or familial basis. So we have to start with the small things. The first thing is to assess how much sleep or lack of sleep your teen is getting. Mm-hmm. Either you or help them keep a sleep log. Just look at, like, for a week or 2 weeks, how much sleep they're getting. We're entering into the end of the school year. This, happy June 1st, right? This is the last few weeks of school. And while I practice it also, so I'm going to say something here that's going to be a little bit contradictory. There really is no such thing as, making up for lost sleep, right? If I sleep in late in the weekends, it makes up for lost sleep during the week. That's like a psychological thing. It actually doesn't work on your sleep. But it's like, if I can sleep in the weekends, it'll be better. So assessing their sleep, keeping maybe a bit of a sleep journal, trying not to let their sleep get totally out of whack for the summer, and look at some easy ways, even making some 30-minute changes.
You might not even know the answer to this. Is there a thing as too much sleep? Like Kara always said, I come in, I go, I'm tired. I just slept for 10 hours. She's like, you got too much sleep.
Yeah, there actually is a thing such as too much sleep, and 10 might not be so bad, but if you were someone was sleeping 10 and 12 and 14 hours, that's really a sign. That's actually a sign of depression. That much excessive sleep is a sign of depression. I'm not saying anything for you, Scott, but
No, that's okay.
Or a sign that you skip sleeping all week.
Trying
Exactly.
to create routine and stability around your sleep.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, where we could affect with parents. Like, could we roll it back a little bit? We know that sometimes it's hard for them to wind down. So you're saying, reducing technology use, maybe not eating so late. Just like they do when they're babies, they kind of need a routine. Yeah, and I guess we're out of time.
Reducing late night caffeine use, right? No caffeine use after 5 o'clock. I mean, we as adults, that really affects us, but for teens as well. Not having, caffeinated drinks, sodas or coffees or lattes after like 4 and 5 o'clock, because it does affect your sleep.
For sure.
All right.
I can't even have it past 2, but yeah.
Well, your hair looks terrific today.
That means it's going to be a good day.
There you
Good
go.
day. Have a great one. We'll see you next week.
And we'll talk to you on Kara's Cures as well. Thanks, Doc. All right, how about this?